You have always been a proponent of technology bringing people together, since including IE1 in Windows 98. So I was wondering, Bill, what is your opinion on cows?
Cows died out in 1627, and since then, they have become this artificial product that humanity has created. They exist to fulfill our desires, to make us numb, oblivious to what is going on around us.
Yes, Bill was always a proponent of that theory. I personally prefer to refer to cows as being neither real nor artificial. It is a question of what you want to believe.
There are people who would say that cows have actually never existed, that they have always existed in our imaginary in the form of religion, songs, etc.
Exactly. What is reality, anyway? Can you show it to me?
They're in the island of Alicudi out there, you know. The cows from that video on the screen.
Pardon, what do you mean by that?
The cows. That Forster and Bill we're talking about just now. They live in the island. A long time ago, there was an earthquake. A disagreement of sorts between different factions, and from the rubble, the cows built up the town again, gave the people milk. But in time, they had seen too much, couldn't handle the brave new world. So we gave them a new place to live, where they would be comfortable.
Do I know you from somewhere?
I don't think so. Do you know who you are?
That's why I'm here. I heard the port could help me understand myself as much as others I do not, but I never understood what exactly the port is.
The port is not simply of physical but associative nature, hiding in plain sight. When you squint, it is always there, in the periphery of your vision, a liminal space you normally suppress an awareness of. If you choose to enter, you will lose yourself, shed your memories, become as a child once more. You see, in Palermo, as elsewhere, we are all parasites in our own bodies, constructing our edifice of virtuality every second of every day. So take this bowl and look for what you don't want to normally see.
Welcome everyone to the Port of Palermo Stadium. We're joined here today by Stephen Smith, and we're going to be giving you the rolling coverage of the game this morning from Palermo, Sicily. So Max, can you tell me a little bit more about where exactly we are today and why this is so special?
Certainly. So this game is special because it marks the 50th anniversary since the old Tower of Palermo collapsed, and the cows gave their milk to us and enabled us to build the Port of Palermo and its great halls. Since then, the port has evolved into this poorly understood condition, the mythology of which is greater than the thing itself, if you ask me. In fact, it is often said that even those that visit the port to understand its nature return less able to articulate in their former language than before what they've seen.
That's interesting, Max. Can you tell us a little more about the game we're going to be seeing today?
Yeah, so today, as every day, a cow is going to be chosen from the archive on Alicudi. It will then travel underground by train before being raised into the stadium here at the port. Afterwards, it will be slain by the monk Benedictus, who was chosen yesterday through a two-stage voting system he won through his strong didactic reasoning skills. Here we can actually see him coming on stage now, a very celebrated figure amongst the monks. Benedictus is.
Je
So now we can see Poli Lipa coming on stage. She will now collect the milk from the cow and take it with her to the halls of the forum. This is a very personal moment for Lipa that we are all very grateful to be able to share in.
Yes, it's always great to see new faces in Palermo, and we wish Lipa the best of luck in her journey and hope she finds something, even if not what she expects.
Thank you for the pleasure. So we're very excited to present this project with you today. So let's break it down. There are 3 parts to it.
We have the monastery on top of the hills where the cows are raised.
Then we have the port in Palermo, which is where the 4 halls for contracting are located.
And on an island about 50 kilometers away from the port, we have the archives of avocados.
So to start a project on this scale, we got together some of the greatest minds we could find, but we quickly realized that we just couldn't cut it.
So we went to our friends at Good Consulting Group, and they gave us this imagery to inspire the project.
And they put together these really beautiful sort of assemblages that, you know, we just really love.
So for here, for example, we have the Delaval Center of Becoming, where, in their words, you don't merely exist anymore, but you actually become your own existence.
And then this is my personal favorite, the Donde es de la Esplanada. I took 2 years of Spanish just for this moment, and I don't think we need to ruin it by saying anymore.
Right. Then we translated this into an architectural project. So this is the very first amazing sketch that we came up with.
Yeah, this is it. So, yeah.
And this is what it turned into.
Yeah. So
some call it the greatest architectural achievement of the 21st century, but we're really just doing our job.
yeah, we just happen to do it quite well. Yeah. Okay.
Let's dive a little deeper into this project.
Yeah, so there are 6 months in our project, and these 6 months live up on this hill above Palermo. These are the 6 months.
And the monks watch over the port and the forum.
And on this hill, they raise young calves on these lush fields, really beautiful grass.
And from a young age, these calves are brought down the stairs to the hall.
And then they enter into these halls each and every day,
where they observe the rituals of the visitors of the port.
Yeah. And then when a visitor comes here, what happens is they experience themselves from a different perspective, which we refer to as the helioscope effect.
Right. Just like a helioscope allows you to look at the sun without hurting your eyes.
The halls allow visitors to re-experience themselves in a safe space.
Unfortunately for the cows, though, this effect doesn't apply to them.
By the time the cows reach a legal drinking age, they have become completely numb from everything they have seen.
Right. So their lifeless bodies are then brought to the archive of Alicari, where they're then brought into a simulation where they can deal with this trauma that they've experienced.
And we designed these really great pods that they live in, really state of the art.
The caretaker of the island is Urnamu, and he's carefully selects 1 cow each day, which he then brings to the transit system, which brings the cow to the stage for the ritual.
What we saw before.
Exactly.
And then the other cows just live out their lives in this sort of numb bliss. This is what it looks like from their perspective. It's quite nice.
I think when we were designing the port, With all the great people here at Apple, we really believed that to make a port that everyone wants to visit and meet in, it was important to take a step back and ask ourselves why people actually want to drink milk. What our research showed is that there really is no one reason, because milk is actually something very subjective. And for that reason, the port itself could never be something definitive, because then it would immediately become irrelevant. To make everyone want to come here to innovate and collaborate and make great things, we had to give them something they weren't asking for, something they couldn't even imagine. Now, it is my pleasure to invite the architects of this amazing project onto the stage to talk about the Port of Palermo in more detail. Please give a warm round of applause for Louis and Joel.
Thank you, too, for your presentation. I have one question to begin with. Is this thing you are showing here reality?
Yes.
Thanks, too, for your presentation. I am a little confused by the exact nature of the halls. Do the halls have any spatial value?
Yes. We need a volunteer to drink milk now.
I will drink the milk.
Cool, thanks.
I think there is a lot of humor here in this media performance. You have really captured well the idea that visiting the port desexualizes the subject in both their corporeality and desires beyond the body and its reproductive needs. So whilst the project is about milk, it tackles it from an angle that sees the modern individual not as represented in a universalizing architecture, but inherently vulnerable, an architecture of impermanence that almost disappears within the urban context and reflects our contemporary vulnerabilities and insecurities, apt and well thought out.
Thank you. We agree with your comments.
Welcome, Polly Leaper. I trust you are well.
Good morning. I'm doing okay.
Come, please have a seat. Do you like biscuits?
I'm fine, thanks. What do I do now?
I'm Nicholas. Welcome. All you have to do is answer one simple question. Tell me, have you been a good girl?
I don't know. Well, it's difficult to say when you ask like that. Does it have to be so black and white?
Most people say that. Let's see what you think by tomorrow. To answer my question, you must shed your memories and bathe in your own vulnerability. When all of your desire is lost in the streams of milk flowing through the forum, you will know who you are. Go on now. You have a long way ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show's about to begin. We may welcome to the stage Polly Lipa, the star of today's show, an apt reflection on the fragility of adolescence and finding one's identity in today's medialized society. Please make sure to turn off your phones and enjoy the show.
I wasn't jealous before we met. Now every woman I see is a potential threat. I'm not possessive, it isn't nice. You heard me saying that smoking was my only vice. But now it isn't true. Now everything is new. And all I've learned has overturned.
How can you do that to Jerry? I will kill you.
Don't go waste when you're in.
This cat tastes delicious. It really goes well with the red cabbage. This dinner is a triumph. You know, I always felt that I had the best taste. You might have the best taste, but your financial management skills are severely limited. Remember when you had to rob a co-op pronto at gunpoint to pay your rent? Remember the look on her face? That's true, that was bad. At least it was only a water gun.
See, actually, Nicholas was wrong all along. No matter how much you want to, you can't stay in the port any longer. Doing so will not give you some big magic revelation about your own morality. I think because there is actually nothing inside you to discover. The longer you stay in these halls, the more you either become sad or transcend your own object-subject binary, thus becoming a mystic that has no convictions. So instead, I think you should simply get onto your dead pet mouse and ride off into the sunset like the based cosmopolitan of tomorrow that you are. Thank you and goodbye.